My name is Aaron. I'm the assistant director here at the Shanghai Healing Home. My wife and I came here about 6 years ago to help out with the home. We had come to China 8 years ago to work at a medical school, so my wife and I are both nurses. Our first year here, we had heard about the home, and we wanted to come and volunteer for a little bit. Came and volunteered, and after that first day, I was talking to one of the founders, and I said, listen, if you need medical help, anything like that, just let me know. Next day, she got on the phone, she said, come here now. We need some more help with medical stuff. So I started working, maybe just volunteering once a week, then it was twice a week, then 3 times a week. And soon it became, I had 2 full-time jobs. And at that point, I had to make the decision, were we going to leave the medical school and come here full-time? And obviously that's the way the Lord was leading us. So the home was started back in 2009 by an American family and a Chinese lady. The mission was to care for children with medical conditions. And not only to care for the medical conditions, we really want to care for the whole child. That's the physical, that's the mental, that's the emotional, and even the spiritual. That's our main goal here at the home. So we've had 106 adoptions here from the Shanghai Healing Home. Most of those are through the American side. So a lot of American families have adopted from our home. And up until 2018, we didn't have any Chinese families adopt from the Shanghai Healing Home. And then starting in 2018 until now, we've already had 6 of them. Right now, our main goal is to try to get more Chinese families to adopt from our home. And so we've been talking with some Chinese churches here, really just trying to get the Chinese Christians more involved in this. Because remember, the culture tells them that adoption is not the norm. But we want them to think of this as a picture of the gospel, and that adoption is a good thing. To adopt a child is really to show unconditional love, and knowing that when I adopt this child, I'm making that child a full member of my family, and I'm going to love that child unconditionally. Anything that we do should not be out of a motive other than wanting to serve Christ. And so when we are devoted to giving of ourselves sacrificially, that's what Christ did, right? The goal of volunteering and supporting and living out the gospel is so that it will bring glory to Christ. And for Christians who are involved in orphan care, that should be their main goal. So we have lots of different people from different countries all around the world who come into the Shanghai Healing Home. And we haven't seen how different races or different nationalities have really played much of a factor here. Really, when those people come in and see our amazing, beautiful kids, they just are drawn to wanting to help children in need. We like to get a lot of people in here to the home, not just to see them on Facebook or on social media, because a lot of that empathy is learned. Someone who decides, I'm gonna go volunteer somewhere, they didn't necessarily just do that because they felt like, I just have to go help these people. A lot of times, the very beginning, at the very first time, they were forced into it, whether that by a school activity or a church activity or their parents. But after they went that first time, they saw the need. And then after they see the need, then they were willing to continue that. So my wife and I have adopted 1 little boy, and then on Christmas Eve, a few days ago, we found out that we were matched to our 2nd little boy from the Shanghai Healing Home. One of the reasons why we decided to go with adoption is that God has really placed us here to be able to care for this many children, and we've learned that these children are not any different than our own biological kids. They would be the same. We still love them the same. We would still treat them the same. And so we decided a long time ago that if God wasn't to give us kids, then we would be so happy just to adopt children. And so the Lord has placed us here in the Shanghai Healing Home. He's brought us into this and He's opened up the door to this many children here without families. And so it's really just His way of telling us, listen, this is the right path for you guys to be able to adopt and to be able to show God's love to these children.